Hey, Ancient Thoughts here, coming at you with another video. I'm going to chat with you a little bit while we're building some baskets. I've got 7 more baskets of this mix to go. I've already shot it. This is Sweet Purple Vein, so I've shot an intro to that one already. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of work through this as we're talking, and we'll talk about what's going on, what's changing, and more about greenhouse stuff. So if you missed that one, Solar Tower Sweet Potato Vine, and Scaevola Blue Fan. It's going to be a real quick mix. Scaevola Blue Fan right in the middle, Solar Tower on the side, Endurascape Dark Purple, opposite of the Solar Tower. Told you this one's going to be real quick. This spread around, do a little bit of pinching. Okay, and then our Sure Shot Blue Vein, which is taking place of our Cervina Lavender Vein. And we got 2 of those, and they go opposite one another in this mix. So this isn't really a planting video as much as it is a talking video. So we'll get to that. All right. Just a couple more. So what's going on in my classroom lately? What is new? What can I tell you about now that I can't shoot a video in the classroom and show you? So one of those is the fact that we are in a dairy unit now. So my 7th grade class they're exploring the dairy industry in one of my favorite ways. I've always loved dairy products. And one of my favorite dairy products is actually cheese. If you're a Wallace and Gromit fan, you might go, cheese! But only if you're old enough to know who Wallace and Gromit are. But yes, I am a huge fan of cheese, and every year with my 7th grade class, I do a dairy unit, and we explore cheese. And from my experience, sometimes my cheese unit is the first time that students have really stepped out of their comfort level and tried foods that to them might actually be a little bit scary. You wouldn't think it, but cheese to some people can be scary. So we talk about the origins and the history of cheese, and how mankind best thinks cheese was discovered. That it was probably some shepherd that milked some milk into a stomach of a young animal, and then it curdled in there, and one guy dared another. It says, hey dude, smell this. The other says, oh, that's awful. Then the other guy's like, yeah, taste it. Anyway, it was probably something like that. If you're a guy, you know. If you know, you know. But anyway, we explore cheese, we talk about the early origins, and then we talk about different types of cheese and kind of the history of cheese when it comes to different countries. And so I go out and I search our local community to try to find new, unique, and different cheeses. Because, up to this point, my students may think the wildest cheese they've ever eaten was Parmesan. And even at that, they're not eating real Parmesan. They're eating Kraft Parmesan, which is not real Parmesan. Real Parmesan is something that we're going to eat tomorrow. It's Parmigiano Reggiano from the Parma region. That's in Italy, if I've got my cheese locations correct. But, they may not have ever eaten real Parmesan. Maybe they ate it at an Italian restaurant. But up until this point, for a lot of them, their life when it comes to cheese revolves around Kraft singles. Standard medium cheddar cheese, mozzarella, and Parmesan. And that's it. They've never tried anything else. And we go through and we try some what I call challenging cheeses. We try some pecorino. We try some blue cheese. Like there's a common one here. It's called Dana Blue. It's a decent one. I like it. And that's a challenging cheese for them because it's got those real strong flavors to it and the strong odors. You know, a little bit almost like vomit, almost like a bile taste to it. And you know, students are kind of apprehensive. They've heard the legends about people throwing up in my class after eating blue cheese. And so we try all sorts of things. We try goat's milk cheese. We try sheep's milk cheese. We try, if I can find it, mozzarella cheese made with buffalo milk. But we try all those different sorts of cheeses to get them challenged. When I first started this unit, we started talking about what animals you can get cheese out of. The simple answer is any mammal can make cheese. Any mammal. You can make it out of their milk. So, you know, that leads to giggles and then confusion and yeah. So, you know, I'll introduce and up to this point, mainly, they're only thinking that cheese is limited to cows, right? We get cheese from cows. So it's kind of mind-blowing to some of them that we get cheese from goats. We get cheese from sheep. We get cheese from horses. Yes, that's a thing. We get cheese from camels, llamas, that just about every civilization has discovered that you can make cheese out of mammal milk. And I this year I had some students that they heard sheep and they're like, ooh, gross, who would drink sheep's milk? I'm like, actually it's kind of good. It's a little bit salty. Has a little bit of almost a sweat taste to it, but it's really good. I like it. And of course, you know, this year I went out and I found a nice sheep cheese. And we tried it today. And it was an absolute favorite. They were begging me to cut up the rest of the little loaf of cheese and give it to them so they could eat it. They absolutely loved the sheep cheese. And that was eye-opening for a lot of students. And I've kind of found that this unit is really one where students kind of find out about themselves and start to get out of their comfort zone when it comes to food. You know, not everything has to be French fries, tater tots, corn dogs, microwave burritos. It can have some flair to it. You know, you can go out and spend some money on some fun cheese. You know, put it this way, you can go get some pretty cool cheeses for the cost of a mocha from Dutch Brothers. Get some pretty cool cheeses there. Those of you that are not on the West Coast, you won't know who Dutch Brothers is. But, you know, you can basically go out and get a flavored coffee the same price as a bunch of cheese. But yeah, we explored some cheeses. Now, I did make a mistake this year. I was looking for unique cheeses, and I found a gorgonzola, a really nice gorgonzola. And it was all in a fancy wax paper wrapper, and it was pretty good expensive cheese. And my mistake was not trying it ahead of time. And we ate that gorgonzola on day one. It was one of our beginning cheeses on day one. That gorgonzola was stronger than the blue cheese that I normally use for the very last. So they got the heavy hitter out of the way. And the fear that they had for eating the blue cheese that makes people vomit went away, because no one threw up eating the gorgonzola. And they're like, wait a minute, you mean that blue cheese you're going to give us is not as potent as the gorgonzola? I'm like, no, it's milder than that. And they're like, whoa, cool, we're all going to make it. So yeah, we tried some unique cheeses. Yeah, eyes are opened. It's fun. If you want to see kind of what I'm talking about when it's the cheeses, go into my channel and search for cheese, and I've got videos from past cheese years where I do that. This year I might do it a little bit different, just kind of do that myself without the student input and give you some better impressions on that. Yeah, we'll do it that way this year on the cheeses. Anyway, I'm going to keep building on this, and I've been rambling about cheese, but yeah, that's what's going on in my classroom right now. The big, most important one is my cheese unit, and that corresponds to the dairy foods contest for FFA, where they have to identify, well, it's a little bit more than a dozen different types of cheese, but it's things like identify a blue cheese, a Gouda, a Parmesan. So they're pretty basic. They're not fantastical varieties. You know, they're not asked to differentiate between like Dana Blue and a Gorgonzola. They would just lump under the general term of blue cheese. But that dairy foods contest was actually kind of made famous by the movie Napoleon Dynamite. So if you remember from that movie, the section where he's drinking out of the bottles of milk and he's telling them what the defect is in the milk, that's this contest that we were practicing for, is dairy foods. So it's pretty fun. But yeah, that's what's going on. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video here. So I hope you enjoyed my rambling about cheese. I hope you learned something. Ag Teacher Thoughts out.